My name is Crystal Hernandez, and thank you for joining us on today's Sports Access, where we talk sports at Texas Wesleyan. My guest today is women's softball player Sandra Lopez. Thank you so much for joining us today, Sandra.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Sandra, we'd like to start off with knowing a little bit about you. So I know that softball season has just begun in the first few weeks or so, and I want to ask, how's your softball season going so far?
So right now we are on a 4-game winning streak and we are 2-0 in conference. We have gotten 2 sweeps for 2 weekends. So that's our 4-game winning streak. We're doing exceptionally well right now. We do have a very young team. We probably have 4 seniors and then maybe 3 juniors and the rest are sophomore and freshmen. So we have a really good freshman class this year. So we're really grateful for them since in previous years we've had slimming numbers. So this year we've actually had like a good group of kids come in.
Now, on account of a record this year, 5-3 overall, 4-game winning streak, undefeated home. So what does preparation look like for Texas Wesleyan softball team? Or what do you do to prepare for an upcoming game?
So we do weights 3 days a week. We do weights Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and then we practice every day except Wednesday. So really it just depends on how we do the previous game. So like say we have a really good hitting game, but we think our defense could be better, then we'll focus more on defense. And then we'll usually do a inter squad scrimmage where like we'll have 2 teams and we'll face our pitchers just to get us some more live pitching before games. But it really just depends on like obviously the weather and then how we do in previous games. And like we just try to work on what we need to improve on from our previous game.
Now, how do you, on a personal note, how do you mentally and physically prepare for your upcoming game?
So I usually will go get some cuts in. I'll go swing at the indoor or have my dad meet me and get some cuts in. And then I try to get as hyped before a game as possible. Me and my roommate, Kimani Ferguson and Mercedes Beltran, we try to get like super hyped before the game just to have like some excitement going into it. And like, this is our final ride. So we just want to have like a good year. So we just try to be as happy and like just positive as we can going into the game.
Now, you did mention your dad a little bit. So would you think that he was a positive role in your softball career?
Yes, my dad is like a huge role in my softball career. My dad has been with me through every step of the way, through knee surgery, through concussions, through obviously COVID. Like my dad has always been there for me. Same thing with my mom, but my dad is like the guy, like the go-to guy when I need anything related to softball.
Now, you personally, like, what does softball mean to you?
The meaning of softball to me is really family and like opportunity. Probably without softball, I wouldn't have been at Texas Wesleyan. I probably would have gone to like a community college or JUCO. Like softball has opened so many doors for me. It has opened so many relationships. Like I have the best friends like that I would have never had if I didn't play softball. And softball just opens a lot of doors for multiple kids, including myself. Like I love coaching to this day, and like that's because of softball. Like I chose education because of softball.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We're going to take a quick break, so stay tuned.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see.
DEPR.
Mental illness doesn't show up on a scale.
Bipolar?
Sorting out a mental health concern takes professional diagnosis and treatment.
Anxiety. I thought so.
If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, don't go it alone. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support.
We're back here on Sports Access with our guest, Sandra Lopez. Now, Sandy, let's take it back to your softball high school career. You came from Cypress High School, where you were first team all-district, academic all-district, and won a state champion. Is that correct?
Yes, I did.
So how would you compare your high school career in softball comparing to your current college softball career?
My high school career, it's definitely different. College is a whole different animal. You got to be really good on time management. Like you're a lot, like this is your job essentially. Like, yeah, in high school it's fun playing and stuff like that. But here it's like your job, like you're here to play and you're here to win. Like obviously you're there to win in high school too, but it's like different. It's a different atmosphere. College is like, this is the opportunity that you've worked so hard for. So high school softball and college softball, like obviously you're supposed to have fun and stuff, but college softball to me is like, it's my job, it's my life. It's like right now would I revolve around? So it's like it's a great atmosphere in my opinion.
Is there anything that you would feel comfortable sharing about a high school experience that you had while playing softball or anything in your past?
Um, Probably being named first team all districts for both academics and athletics because I actually led the conference in throwouts. I was a catcher before I had knee surgery, and that was like a big thing for me because I transferred to a different high school. I went to two high schools in the 4 years that I was in high school, obviously, and just coming into my first year at Cypress Woods and being able to get that recognition, like that was a big deal for me for all the hard work that I had put in, and then being named defensive player for the high school, like that was just a big deal for me.
What would be something that you would tell your past self?
Probably get a little more conditioned when it came to running because I hate running. That's what I would tell myself. Try to make as many gassers as you can. And if you know, you know.
Now, what's something that you would have done differently during your freshman year of college? What's something that you would have done differently?
I probably would have been more optimistic playing different positions. I was really focused on just catching, but now as a senior in college, I'm playing the outfield and like anything can happen. You can play anywhere whenever your coach needs you. Like I'm that type of person to be like, wherever you need me, I'll be. So just probably being a little more optimistic and letting her know like, hey, like I can play here whenever you need me.
Now, let's get into why is it that you decided to come to Texas Wesleyan to play softball?
So I love the whole smaller classes. Like that's a big deal for me. I have really bad ADHD. I've had it since I was 5. So the whole smaller classes, teachers getting to know you, like that was a big deal for me in the education program. Like I knew that I was going to be an education major throughout high school. Like I just had that feeling like I knew that was going to be my life choice. And the education program here is very well. And I love the teachers. I love my advisors. Shout out to Dr. Gaffner. She's great. And I love the administration here for education. And they are really well with working with an athlete schedule. And I value that so much.
Since you've been playing for the Lady Rams for the past 4 years, since 2018, now that you're a senior, at what point do you think there's too much softball or too much burnout considering a athlete's life and then a student life?
So right now it is kind of stressful with athletic life and school life just because I'm trying to get all of my certifications out of the way and we are traveling every week or playing every week. So it's not necessarily burned out because I'm not burned out. Like I love the game with everything in me, but it's more of just trying to manage my time and have my priorities straight. Obviously, softball is why I'm here, but at the end of the day, I'm here to graduate. So it's just trying to be really good on time management and get my work done so that I can play.
Now, how do you feel about this being your last year or last semester of playing college softball here at Texas Wesleyan?
So it's bittersweet. Like I know my time is coming, but I've valued every step of the way that I've had here. I've valued all of my friends, all of my teammates, my coaches. I've just been so incredibly blessed and grateful to have the people that I have in my life. And I'm especially blessed to have my baby sister who is a freshman on the team with me. That's the best thing I could have ever asked for, being able to finish my last ride with my little sister, love her to death. So I'm just glad that I had that one opportunity to finish off my year.
What are your career and athletic plans after college? Do you want to keep playing or what's your situation looking like?
So I probably won't play collegiate softball anymore, but I do love coaching softball. I love it. I coached the 12U team back in the summer. Love those girls to death. I obviously want to teach, but I'm not going to teach high school. I'm trying to teach elementary, but with coaching in the summer, I want to do that, as well as playing slow pitch with my pops. Me and my dad have been talking about playing slow pitch softball for a super long time. I just have to wait till I retire.
All right. We're going to take a quick break, so stay tuned. Welcome back. We're here on Sports Access with our guest, Sandy Lopez. Now, Sandy, I know you mentioned a little bit before our break that you had plans to maybe teach. Do you think with you being an education major, would there be any room for you to coach, or have you ever thought of being a softball coach?
Yes, so I do coach. I love doing it. I coach in the summer for travel leagues just because obviously I can't coach during season or in the fall. There have had thoughts about coaching high school. I would just have to get my degree. I'd have to take the test. And that's just more of in the future for me right now. I love coaching select softball. It's just a different atmosphere. Like I said, they're working to get to a goal, to get to college. And I would love to be that person to help them get there because I know what it's like.
My next question, how far would you like to take your softball career? Even if it's just for fun, it doesn't have to be about competition or going into nationals. How far do you think you would take your softball career?
I would definitely do slow pitch. That's probably how far I would take my career. My mom is from Nicaragua, so technically I could play for Team Nicaragua if I wanted to. That's also a thought in my mind after I finish playing college softball. It just depends on how much more my body can take, but I just got to be grateful for the time I have right now. And I would definitely try to further it. It just depends on how the season goes.
Now, taking aside the softball talk, what are your hobbies outside of softball?
I do like to coach. That is one of my big hobbies is coaching, but I also love just hanging out with my family. Like I'm a big homebody, love hanging out with my family, friends, chilling, watching TV, playing with my dog.
And finally, my last question to you, what are your goals for your future plans?
I hope to teach here in the Fort Worth area. I have lived here so long that this is like my home now. Everybody that I care for lives here. My family lives here. I really hope to teach here in the Fort Worth area as well as coaching in the Fort Worth area. So I can only hope and pray that that will come true for me.
Well, Sandy, thank you so much for joining us today. It was my pleasure to meet you and learn a little bit more about you and your softball career and your experiences here at Texas Wesleyan.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you everyone for tuning in to today's Sports Access. Be sure to follow us on Facebook at The Rambler, on YouTube at The TWU Rambler, and on Instagram and Twitter at The Rambler TWU. My name is Crystal Hernandez, and this is Sports Access.
Rambler TV.